Sasha.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning. We are in Thanksgiving week, and we are participating together in a group that is called Healing Naturally. But we actually met last week during a 5-day challenge with Armin Shafi. And I loved your videos, Sasha. I cannot compliment you more for your spontaneity and also the purpose of your mission. And that's what I wanted to ask today. What is your purpose? What is your mission? And what is your program?
Sure. So my mission down to a nutshell is really to lead people out of spaces of darkness and hopelessness into a life of fulfillment. So the program that I've developed that I'm working through right now currently is to help women overcome depression and build lasting confidence without years of therapy and medication through extensive self-mastery.
Well, that is quite an incredible statement. So let me break it down so you can explain more. So why did you pick mothers and not women in general? Is that because mothers go through depression because of their kids or because of giving birth or other reasons?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So over the last couple of years, I have worked with just women in general, helping to lead them out of depression. A lot of the women that I have worked with have been through a lot of trauma or abuse in their lives. So when things like this happen, we get stuck in these very limited mindsets and we just lose hope for ourselves. We have low standards and low boundaries for what we allow into our lives. And it's this whole self-destructive cycle that we create for ourselves without even realizing how we got there. But the reason I've decided to pivot towards mothers specifically is because being a mother, I can really connect in with and relate with mothers on a very deep and personal level. And I also come from a long line of generational trauma from my mother and her mother before her. And I've watched how that's trickled down throughout my family. So I'm a huge advocate for ending cycles of generational trauma. And as a mother, if we can stop that line and take control over ourselves and master ourselves and create a life that we are happy and fulfilled with, then we're not projecting those limitations onto our children and continuing that into another generation.
Well, that is so incredibly good. So you are doing something good out of something that was kind of traumatizing for you. And in our group, Healing Naturally, we want exactly that. The second part of your statement, when you said without long therapies and medication, we're all for natural healing. So let me elaborate a little bit more on the last part, or if you can elaborate a little bit more on the last part, self-mastery. If you are not doing long therapies, and believe me, I attended a conference where Tony Robbins delivered an intervention that lasted 6 hours and created more change than maybe 2 years of therapy, okay, in each one of us, created a shift. So can you explain more what you do or how you take mothers from this point to this point through self-mastery?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing to really highlight is distinguishing, and not to bash counseling. Counseling and therapy is so necessary. It really is. It helps us to find a voice. It helps us to understand what's going on. The challenge with those modes traditionally that I have found through my own experience and through working with clients and years of experience is that a lot of their methods are very coping based. So we're taught how to cope through life based on what we've been through, and we still keep that story, and we're just trying to manipulate the story or change it to feel better about ourselves. And now throw on medication, that's just another level of coping. We're just masking that root cause of what's actually happening. So what I do is everything that I do is geared towards this kind of new age mindset development. So I've been trained by some of the leading experts in the world in the fields of personal growth and development to understand that everything comes down to mindset. So what I really do with women is I help them to, number one, yes, find their voice and to dig out whatever pain and emotion is there in a safe, vulnerable space that they may not have ever really been able to have before. And that in itself is very healing. but we don't want to just heal and then cope. We want to thrive, right? We don't want to just survive. So then it's about rewiring the mind, understanding, first of all, how we can rewire our mind, and then being able to go in and consciously do that in order to create a new story for ourselves, a new self-image, and just a whole new perspective of how we walk through life. And that literally changes everything. Sounds so simple, and it really is. It's not easy, but it is a lot more simple than a lot of people think.
Well, that sounds wonderful, but please share your program with us. How long are you into it?
Yeah, so sorry?
Your latest one, the one that you're developing now.
Oh yeah, so it's fully developed. So I launched a beta of this program. It was a 6-month program at the time. So I walked my clients through the 6-month program so let me kind of backtrack. I have been coaching for a number of years now, but I keep refining the demographic and I keep refining the content and how I coach. So I have refined it down to a space of being able to compress this 6 months into now a 90-day program to get the results even faster. So that one will be starting in about, I'm thinking February, the next one will start. I just ended a program a few weeks ago. So the next one will be starting in February. So I'll be taking on only 10 clients. I try to keep it very minimum. It's a group setting. So I'm very particular about the dynamic of the people that we're working with, making sure everybody's set up properly for success. But it really is a beautiful experience. And when you were, something that just kind of came up when you're talking about that subconscious factor of, using hypnosis to get into the subconscious, we have to really understand throughout this method that it's all a subconscious game, everything, because all of our habits and our patterns and our belief systems, they're all our blind spots. They're buried subconsciously. So I've actually learned a very effective and proven strategy to dig into the subconscious, to consciously actually rewire all that programming.
I cannot congratulate you more and encourage you. I mean, I know that you don't need so much encouragement because you're passionate about what you do, but isn't it more important now than ever before after a pandemic? That's why I wanted to interview you with your program, because depression has increased in numbers that are off the roof. So we need to reach out, and I'm happy to provide one more channel of communication for you to spread the good news that there is healing for depression, right?
Yeah, there absolutely is. That's it. And I think a huge misconception when we get caught in that very low vibration is feeling like we're alone and there's nothing that anybody can do to help us, especially if this has been a recurring thing, a recurring cycle throughout our lives. I know for me, I started dealing with depression from the time I was 9 or 10 years old. I was having suicidal tendencies by the time I was 11. So I understand. I spent most of my life in self-destruction, trying to find ways to cope through, promiscuity and drugs and alcohol. So I get it. I understand, but there is hope. There is absolutely hope. And during a time like this, where the world is at an all-time low vibration right now, just with all the chaos and all the pain and fear, there's no better time for us to uplift each other. And that's exactly why I'm so passionate about doing this right now.
And I'm passionate about it too. So I'm so happy that we did this little talk today, the day before Thanksgiving, because with all this healing, and it's unbelievable how far you have come along. It's the best gift that you can give, not only feeling yourself thankful about your journey, but giving this gift to other people. So thank you for joining me today. And I wish you well and lots of people in your program.
Thank you so much. It was so nice sharing space with you.
Thank you, Sasha. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.